Hey, Sizzling Popcorn, and let's get into this fourth tutorial on OnAir Airline Manager. So your company's grown a little bit. You've got your first aircraft, you got your first job, you've been doing a little bit of flying on your own, but now you want to start leveraging AI pilots so that you can get some money in, get some jobs done while you're actually maybe at real work or, doing other things. And you don't always have to be at your computer flying in order to generate money for your company. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at hiring AI pilots, flight attendants, and mechanics. And then we'll then look at getting work for them and then setting up work orders so that they can work while you're away from the computer. So let's get started with this. So just again, to let you know, if you're on the Cumulus or Stratus world, those are the first two worlds. You can use AI pilots to fly your aircraft. When it comes to the Thunder world, only humans can fly aircraft. You'll still have to hire AI flight attendants and mechanics, but pilots or co-pilots, because co-pilots, what they will do is they'll fly when the other one's resting. But the thing is, in Thunder, it's always a human that has to fly, so there's no point. So we're in the Stratus world. I've grown my company. I actually have five employees. One of them is me, and then 4 AI pilots. Let's go take a look at what we have here. So from here, Suzanne, Klaus, and Matthew, they're all salaried. So they get, this is their per hour wage and then per week. So this is the minimum that they're going to get per week. And then over here is wages. Robert, he's on as a freelancer. So rather than him coming on with like full benefits and stuff, he's just on for a couple of days. So if we go up here to hire employees, so if you go here, you might just see your name as the only employee of the company. But let's go hire employees, and then it's going to look at the job market. What you're going to want to do is up here, you want to filter on certification for aircraft class. So depending on what you're looking for, I've got a couple of aircraft. I got a Twin Otter, I've got a Comanche, and I've got a King Air, Beechcraft King Air. So if I want a pilot for the King Air, I have to make sure that they have a multi-engine certification. So here you'll see the number of certifications each person has. Then here you'll see whether, if you see numbers under per week and per hour, then you can hire them on as full-time. If it's just under wages, then you can only hire them as a freelance worker. You can see their flight hours, but here the key thing is their punctuality. You want to have that as high as possible, and then their stress resistance, that also as high as possible. So the punctuality, they're going to, especially when you get into routes where you've created routes and you got to be there on time, the punctuality, they will be there. Obviously, they'll be punctual, so they're going to try to get there on time. The stress resistance is more so when it comes to storms. If they're more stress resistant, then they're more likely to fly even though there's bad weather. While if they have a low stress resistance, pretty much like maybe some heavier rain, they won't fly. So they'll divert their flight or just stay there until the weather is good. So that's the two variables there that you want to take a look at. But let's just click on evaluate. We'll take a look at the profile itself. So here you can hire Matthias for $97.50 per hour with a guaranteed minimum of $14.55 per week. And that is as a permanent employee. Then you're going to put in the home airport. So all my operations are out of Falcon Field. So that's Kilo, Foxtrot, Zulu, Falcon Field. Then you sign a contract. Now they become your employee and you can let them go. But every week, let's say you only use them for 2 hours this week. Well, 2 hours, 2 times 97.5 does not equal to $14.55. So that means minimum, they're going to get paid $14.55. But if you use them well above that, so let's say you use them for 50 hours. Well, 50 hours is going to be more than $14.55. So you're actually going to pay 50 times the $97.50. Then on the bottom part, that's if you want to get them as a freelancer. This is their minimum wage per flight hour, so $214.50. Guaranteed minimum per day, so it's pretty much they're guaranteed 3 flight hours a day. If you use them more, great. And then you then choose how many days between 1 and 3 days, how long you want to hire them for. So recently, I had one pilot stuck at an airport, couldn't refuel. There was no FBO, so I had to buy a jerry can at Falcon Field, hire someone as a freelancer, and also rent another plane, ship them up there, drop that can so that they can refuel. So I only hired him for I think 1 or 2 days. So if I don't use them for 3 hours, well, I have to pay minimum 3 hours. That's their guarantee. And then you can go between 1 and 3. Same thing here. You're going to put in their home airport. And the home airport's important because when they fly, they have to then come back to this airport. If they don't, then you're going to have to pay hotel fees for them to stay, like let's say it has to stay over in San Antonio for the night. Well, we're going to have to pay hotel fees for that. So now we're going to go back. I don't want to hire this guy because I already have an extra freelancer. But we'll go back. We'll take a look at flight attendants. Flight attendants, it's the same thing, except the passenger PAX care. So that's passenger care. That's going to help to keep the customer satisfied and your reputation. And then the effectiveness, how well they are. So it's all around the customer service. Then when it comes to the mechanics, you're looking at precision, that they fix things precisely, more so knowing what to do. And then how effective they are is, are you going to have to get it repaired again next week? So if they have a low effectiveness and low precision, well, the one instance of repairs this week, well, you might have to go back to get it repaired again following week. Same thing here. They have certifications per aircraft type, and it's the same thing with the flight attendants. So see here, Alfred Wicker, he's only got 5 certifications, so can only use them on those 5 types of aircraft. We're gonna go back to the employees. What I want to show you now is we've got 4 in their status. They're awaiting orders because right now we have no jobs at the moment. And then Robert is sleeping, so he's sleeping until 17:24. So he's got about another hour and a half of sleeping, and then he gets back into work mode. But whether they're sleeping or not, you can still create work orders to have them work. Then they'll sleep on their own, and then they'll come back to work, and they'll just continue on with that work order. So we're gonna go into, I want to look at my aircraft first, then we'll go to jobs, and then we'll create the work order. So I want to go to the aircrafts, so you can go to the top, the shortcuts, my aircraft, there's live operations, and then there's pending jobs. So this one, the my employees, you can actually pull this out into another window, a separate window. Same thing with the my aircraft and the pending jobs. Pending jobs, that's always nice to have, because then you can look, if you got a second screen, you can have the pending jobs on one side and look at it while you're doing your creating your work orders, so that you can see where the job is going and then plan accordingly. But I'm not going to do that here, because all you see is the one screen and not many screens. So I want to go to the aircraft. So the Beechcraft, we've got a max payload of 5,145, practical range 1509, speed 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to work specifically looking at jobs for the Beechcraft King Air. The other two, it's the same thing, but just over again. I wanted to know the max payload, but just remember, don't look for a job that goes with the max payload of, we get a job for 5,100, because you're not going to be able to do it, because you have to also account for the fuel that's in that aircraft. So the Beechcraft does take, I think it's jet fuel. Yes, jet fuel. And it's a multi-engine turboprop land certification. So now we're going to go to the pending jobs. Pending jobs, it's not just for your pending jobs, it's also your logistics center. You also get freelance, FBO queries, favorited, and outsourcing. Freelance, this is going to be for aircraft, this is for jobs that you're going to have to fly yourself. But we're going to go here, logistics center. We're going to take off from Falcon Field, and minimum airport, I think for the King Air, is a size 1 or size 2, but I'd like to go with we'll go with a size 3. Go up to 1,500, but when you're fully loaded, you're not going to go the maximum range. So let's put this let's put it at 1,300 nautical miles, and total weight. Yeah, I think we can push 4,000. The other thing is filter presets. You can come over here, click on that, and choose the aircraft that you're looking to get a contract for, and it's going to set it up here so that you're not getting jobs for like 15 passengers and you only have space for 10. And so that's 0 economy, 0 business, and 10 first class. I could have went with 15 economy, but then the thing is if I have first class, I would never be able to take a first class or even a business class ticket. I would just have economy. Now going with going to 0 economy and going full out on the first class, if I do get 9 first class, I can still take 1 economy. I just upgrade them to a first class seat. So let's think. Oh yeah, so and it also shows that minimum size is 1, but I'd like to bring that up to 3. Because the thing is if you go with a 1, 2, maybe even a 3, there might not be an FBO at the other airport, and that becomes a problem because then you're stuck there, especially if you've asked in the work order to refuel. Then that changes everything. So what I like to do here is I like to go maximize on the pay, but that's not the best jobs. Like what you want to look for is here. You've got these numbers. So the purple are like the best jobs, best paying jobs, and so here it's saying 27. So it's $26.78 per 1,000 pounds per nautical mile. So that's what it's basing off of. It's not basing off of the costs that you have to run the aircraft, but it's just based off of the payment divided by 1,000 pounds divided by the nautical mile. So this would be 8 first class, and the penalty if we don't get this job done within 54 hours, which is quite a long time, we're gonna have a penalty of 10,800. It's a hefty penalty, but we'll be able to get there in time. So that's gonna take us all the way out to Indiana. This is Mount Comfort, and it is beyond. Oh, that's the total weight. So if we can get another flight out there, it would even be more profitable. So let's see. So that's Kilo Mike, Quebec, Juliet. No. I was seeing if there was another one to the same airport, but we're going to take that job. And then let's see what else is here. I don't want the joystick. The joystick it has to be flown by you or a human. If you're not a human, sorry, you can't fly it. Is there anything else? That's to Nebraska. The thing is we've only got two seats left, but we definitely have some weight, some payload that we can still take on here. And the thing is going to this airport, we're not going to get a direct flight right back to Falcon Field. We're going to have to maneuver around, and they're going to have to, the pilot's going to have to stay at a hotel. But actually, if I go now with 2, I'm going to bring this down to 2,000 pounds. Then it'll bring me more so into the range of jobs that I can actually take. This is to South Dakota. We could stop there on the way. Yeah, let's go with the South Dakota. And sometimes you can take jobs that are a further distance than your range. You're just gonna have to stop somewhere in between. So if that's the case, if you've got, like in this case, we've got some space with the payload, get a second job, go halfway or further, like in between, drop off some stuff, and then keep on going with the other job. So we're gonna go with it's this one here. It doesn't pay well compared to some of the others, but it's on my way there. So We'll take it. Now, the first airport, or our end destination, is Kilo Mike Quebec Juliet. So, and the other thing is this job, we have to get it done in 7 hours, which it's the first stop. We should get it there in time. And then between the two of them, there's 3,200 pounds, so that's fine. KMQJ. Let's go back here. KMQJ. And let's go back with Craft. So from Mount Comfort, let's go to size 4 airport on the way back. That's going to Cuba. And then on the far left column, you're going to see how many stops. So like this one, you're not going to one airport, you're actually going to 2. So you bring 6 executives to the Daytona Beach, and 3 to Melbourne. I don't want that job. So what you can do is you can also filter out so that you just have the one stoppers. And what I like to do to quickly scan through is just use the down arrow key, and that works. That works great. I might have to go here. It's not a best ping. And these here, they have a time constraint on them. So we take a look. It's frozen food, so it has to be shipped very quickly. However, it's not available until September 5th. So I'm not going to take a job now and hoping that I have it set for that date. Not going to do that. This is actually a good job to come back. So let's do that. Kiob. Now from Kiob. So we want to try to make our way back to home base. Just reduce hotel costs. Mexico, Florida. This one is to the Pacific Coast. It's at $18 per 1,000 pounds per nautical mile. Like, not every job's gonna be the best paying. So, you gotta do what it's... This one is actually coming back into the Phoenix area, so we'll take that job and then we'll fly them back to Falcon Field empty, probably. Actually... So, KLUF. Let's see, KLUF. And then under direction rather than from or to, we can go specific airport and then put in Falcon Field. Let's gonna load up. It's a couple of jobs. I'm not gonna take this one because I might not get back in time, but we'll take these two. It's very easy. Yeah, we won't be back in time within 23 hours. Because if we ship it late, then we've got a penalty. There's no point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and create work orders. So go into My Company, click on Work Orders. And these are 3 worker orders that I had for the 3 aircraft already. You can go in there and add to it, but we're going to create a brand new one. And up here, you're going to choose the aircraft. So it's the Beechcraft King Air. Pilot, we're going to go. I think I have Suzanne flying this. So we're going to go right here. You want to make sure that it's loaded and that it's required. Here, you can have it as required. But if you don't have it as loaded, it doesn't. That doesn't really matter. When you start off for the first leg, you got to put it up here, or especially if you're going to 2 different places, we're gonna want to get the closest one in first. So KRCA, Ellsworth Air Force Base. Fuel needed is 337.8 gallons. So we want more than that. We want to also check the FBO to see if there is fuel. So it comes up as a pop-up. And there, you see the pop-up there. At KRCA, there is the 100 LL. So there's over 103 gallons there. Price of $9.58 per gallon. Then jet fuel, $9.21. And then they also have workshop levels 1 and workshop level 2 at the FBO. So that's good to know that we're able to refuel once we get there. And now what we want to do is click on Show All Cargo. And actually, in this case, because we've got 2 loads, we're not going to pick up anything at KRCA. We're going directly to... we're going to go to KMQJ next. So add a leg. And then we'll put KMQJ, so Mount Comfort. And we don't have anything here because we're not bringing anything in. There's nothing to pick up at KRCA. But if we click on Show All Cargo, then you'll see that once you get to Mount Comfort, you can pick up executives, 6 first-class passengers. So add that leg, and then we just want to make sure that the load is loaded in. Now what we can do is do the same thing once because this will take us to Kiab, and at Kiab we're going to go to Calef. So Calef, we're going to want to make sure that we've got the 7 refugees, textile, and the 1 wedding party. Then you can click here, add the next leg. So from Calef to Falcon Field, and we want to make sure that electric generators and smartphones are there. So just want to go through, make sure that you've got enough fuel for each leg of your flight. And that's Luke Air Force. So we're going to a few Air Force bases. Now you're going to want to come up here and click on activate. But if you ever wanted to bring some employees with you, so if you wanted to ship boss up to KRCA, you can always bring him on board. What that will do is it'll add 190 pounds to your crew weight, which then puts up your payload. But then once you get there, you can drop him off. But we're not going to do that. We're going to click on activate. And then here you see it's in progress. And then you're going to see once the Falcon field to KRCA it has started, it'll go into, I think it will go into blue. And then when it's done, it'll go into green. But you can always check here, see the progress over time. So if we go back to the world map, or the, what do they call it? The operations, live operations map. See everyone's all lined up here. But very shortly, flight duty ends. So she's waiting for her orders. Actually, Suzanne is not the best one because to send out, her duties end in just over half hour. So I'm gonna go back, change that order, put her on pause, and then change it. Click on details, click on pause, and now I want to change this to Matthew. Because you want someone that's going to be around for a bit. That's me. Robert will be going to sleep in about an hour. She's going to, or Robert's sleeping until about an hour. So Robert's probably the best person. Although, when are they done? Because freelance since, yeah, and his freelancing is going to be done. So Robert's not the best person either. Klaus is going to bed at in a couple of hours. And Matthew, what does Matthew have? Yes, multi-engine turboprop land. All right, so we'll get Matthew on this work order. Go back to the work order. So that's it. It's going to take you some time to manage and figure this out, but once you got it set, you can actually set up your whole week. Or it's tough to set up like a month at a time unless you then start getting into routes. I'll do a separate video on that. I haven't made a route yet, but I'm looking at creating a route very shortly, because routes are going to be like pretty much like airlines, where every set time slots for those flights. So Matthew Boyett, and activate. Send him on that. Well, that's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more of it, make sure you smash that like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll know when the next video comes out or when I go into a live stream. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.